and then start this beauty off.
Well, already we look like we're getting pretty serious bans here. So the Nidalee potentially go towards the Graves or the likes of the Lee Sin as well to take it away off of Peanut. Honestly, though, I think Peanut has been... Peanut. Lee Sin has been SOFM's best champion.
I like to see him
Peanut
for Lee Sin.
I know, yeah.
Hey, etched in our memories after many a Worlds.
Okay, so LGD ban away the Camille. I don't get the Camille ban a lot from LGD. I had the same issue when I looked at them in semis was oftentimes LGD will go towards like Twisted Fate for Xie, and having that Camille that you can play around so well in the top lane, it just feels like you're only taking yourself out of the equation. But either way, SUNING will ban away that Twisted Fate,
but
leave the
Caitlyn
open.
Yeah, because the Renekton first pick has been a very big reality in the LPL as of recently, but you left the Caitlyn.
And now for Mark as well, not only just the Caitlyn, but that pairing with the Lux. Mark looked incredible on Lux. Like, that was by far the best performance I've seen out of him all split long. So the fact he has the opportunity now to go back towards that is fantastic for LGD.
Urgot is open though, Dagda, so we'll see if that gets picked up here as a first rotation. I think it'd pair really nicely with the composition already set up. But the Ashe so far standard.
Scorpion King!
Peanut was watching.
Scorpion King! Yeah,
oh,
look,
man.
I think taking the Lux, taking something like the set could actually work pretty well here. Peanut hasn't had the best of success on this pick though, so maybe instead he opts to go back towards something along the lines of the Graves or even the Lee Sin for himself here. Just get that early game control and then look to play around the spot side of the map.
Get pretty disappointed, Dagda. I didn't want to see power picks. I wanted to see bloody shenanigans.
Yeah.
All right, well, set gets locked in. You know, Peanut, Xie potentially, but we've seen it a lot in the jungle as of recently.
Yeah, I imagine this is going to the jungle. Peanut has played it 3 times. I think he's only got a 1 win off of those 3 games. He has looked good at it, though. It just hasn't quite been able to get the rest of the team coordinated around it. However, we'll have to see what the opportunity they do have this time around is. Bottom side of the map locked in on both sides, though. The Caitlyn looks a strong pushing lane. The Ashe Morgana does look to try and answer a lot of that push back, but not able to answer quite as strong, especially the Morgana Lux matchup. So still expect LGD to have a lot of control on that bottom side.
I still see drafts, though, if I'm looking at these two teams, saying we're not giving away anything yet. This is pretty standard, like power picks, what a lot of teams in the LPL are doing. You know, the Syndra has been back and forth, but still a favorite of Angels. They know that. A spellcaster for Sword Art, as said in previous broadcasts, Sword Art, one of his favorite champions of the past, has been this Morgana. So you're just doing standard stuff at the moment. It's about these last 2 picks to come through when we still don't have any junglers, and they're starting to get banned away.
I'm curious to see Angel go back towards the Syndra, though. I know it has been his most played, but certainly with the nerfs that have come through, we've seen it fall towards the wayside, especially on 10-16. So
bit, yeah.
I would have nearly preferred if he'd gone back, or at least held off, or maybe a counter pick towards that mid lane. Because when Xie is so prominent in the mid, it feels like giving him a counter pick in this situation really slots into the way LGD played through enabling this mid-jungle 2v2 and then powering up to that top side.
Because in the series, I'd say Xie is a much better mid laner than Angel overall.
Yep.
He deserves that after the way he's played in playoffs and how he is a storied mid laner.
That being said, Angel hasn't played poorly. Angel, to me, actually has been the consistent player on SUNING. We know exactly what we're getting from him. It's just that when we look at the high highs that Xie has, especially in this playoffs bracket, I 100% agree with you.
But we've got a double jungle ban here for LGD. We have to move forward because SOFM Lee Sin taken away here or something else. I mean, Lee Sin with the Syndra, it works. It's a very powerful 2v2.
Yeah, I think it'll be the Lee Sin. The matchup is reasonably good for the Lee Sin here, where you can look to try and get at least a dirty clear into a gank. The only thing is that if you end up running into Set, because he's got that massive shield on his Haymaker, it makes it very difficult as Lee Sin to duel him because you don't get that execution damage. So be curious to see how SOFM wants to try and play around Peanut. It feels like nearly waiting to that level 6 point is where we'll be seeing SOFM enter the map.
All right, Langqing, the person who was a little bit disappointing when he got onto his Kale, wants to take a very aggressive early start, and my lord, it's like watching normal LPL.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit different for LGD. We have seen Langqing only bring out this chase once. It was in their quarterfinals against WE, and he looked really, really good.
That's better.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
Better. Don't do the... If you go back to the
Xie
Orianna...
go for the counter pick.
If you go back to the Orianna, I'll be very upset, Xie.
Oh,
No, hang on. We're okay with this. That's okay. Because that itself, as we've seen, you know, a general counter for the Echo versus the Syndra. And the LPL doesn't always go like that, but still the fact remains. Dagda last pick.
It's going to be your top lane that you're looking at. Honestly, when you got something like the Jace up there, you could go towards... It's actually, early you need something like an Ornn or something along these lines to provide a little bit more engage on the side of Suning. You do have the Ash Arrow that can start things off, but with how long range the LGD are able to play, you need something that can provide a front line. The Wukong, good matchup in towards the Jace. You can trade pretty effectively against him. It's only if you mess up your clone that you end up taking a whole heap of burst damage from Longxing. And with the way Bin's been playing, I don't expect that to happen.
Just a little bit sad, to be quite honest. But hey, for LGD, you know, we're looking at a bit of dive here, a bit of range as well. And I feel like we've got a very front to long range.
Well, for SUNING at least, it's a front to back fight. They want to make, well, to a certain extent, they want to make sure that Wukong is getting these flanks so we can get access onto LGD. Huanfeng setting them up great with this Ash Arrow. However, on the opposite side, as he said, playing at long range is the name of the game for LGD here, trying to see if they can get the poke, the bindings, and those accelerated shock blasts to land before they really go towards these fights. It's trying to use their advantages where they have the range and shut down any sort of opportunity for SUNING to get in.
Well, let's see, because we've got some pretty standardized drafts here, which means my eyes are going LGD and SUNING, you guys verse in about 3 days' time. Your third place match at Worlds, this is third place here in the LPL, the third seeded match in the regional qualifiers is coming up. And this is like a precursor. We're going to see a lot of stuff, you know? So let's run in, because finals is almost here, and this is like your warm-up. And LGD and SUNING, one of these teams are going to Worlds. Which is the better team? Simple as that here in the LPL. I'm Asterix, this is Dagda, and this has been episode 1. So cute. There's a kid!
A little kid. Oh,
just ruffle his cheeks. Did you see that? Also, someone dabbed.
Did they? I didn't.
Take him out.
Dab. All right.
Take him out. Oh my
Not in front of the children. Come on.
That's so 2019. Honestly. Wait, dabbing was 2019?
Oh God, I don't even know.
Oh God, I don't know the young kids anymore. Yeah. Back in my day, we used to plank. You know, on dangerous objects.
What was the Harlem Shake was there for a while as well?
Dude. Yeah. I remember one of the videos was in a park, and people walking by were like, "This is stupid." And I look back at it now and I think it's very stupid. But, you know, people were jamming back with that Harlem Shake. Anyway, boomers are cool, and so is League of Legends. Welcome back to the Rift. And we have an Execute Echo running into the Syndra, so we're going to really try and beat the crap out of Angel. If you're Shie.
Yeah, and look, that's always the game plan is this Echo, right? Especially at like level 2, you can start to trade pretty effectively against this Syndra. Try and keep yourself in check until you hit that level 6 point. The only issue here is obviously the push potential from Angel is quite strong in this Syndra. A little bit nerfed in 10-16, but does have that push power.
A bit of damage here. I'm obviously overreacting a little bit as Dagda.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Sword Art rune here. He's gone for the Arcane Comet. Usually, we go towards something like the Guardian instead, looking towards these supports, because as you can see, Morgana does struggle a little bit with her mana pool if you're spamming these pools constantly. So the fact that now you've actually traded pretty effectively, you feed footwork on Mark.
And Sword Art has no black shield here, steps on a trap, and Sword Art flashing away, no bueno. Kramer with first blood, nicely done. And a bit of a mistake from Sword Art in the same time.
Step on a trap, break your supports back.
Yeah.
Morgana falls, Sword Art. So this is why I'm actually not the biggest fan of the rune choice here from Sword Art. Guardian gives you a little bit of survivability on that poke. A lot of the damage, if you've got that one-shot potential at 6 as well, it allows you to survive that burst. However, when you look at Kramer, any sort of poke that lands on him, he just heals up with the fleet footwork. He's fine. Same when you look at Mark, he's got shields for days. You're not really going to be able to get too much work out of this room.
Well, here we go. Nice timing of the Face Breaker here. Haymaker in the end gets the shield and right through the middle for true damage. SOF even used a safeguard, and that means he couldn't continue trading. So red buff might be given up with Longxing now moving into Fog of War as well. Damage down onto SOFM, and Peanut successful in base.
Nice job from Peanut as well, just reading the map. Longxing has push power as Jace, range into melee. He's going to be able to shove that in all the day long. And it means that SOFM, who path from his stronger side to his weak side, is just going to get invaded on. Peanut reading the map really well.
And a big start for LGD. Already a bit of a gold lead through that solo duo kill at level 2. From Kramer, who went back and picked up the pickaxes. We're looking at Shea, who TP'd in at the right time because Angel might get locked down here in the parallel convergence, but just in time for Scatter the Weak. As Peanut walking across lane, he did this quite a lot in the series versus JDG to give a bit of priority to Shea, and now set up for the bottom side scuttle and potentially threaten the invade / maybe the dive if we get to it.
I think what we see SFM do is steal away these camps, and then I'd like to see him try and make a play on top side. But where Longxing's positioned right now, the wave kind of towards the middle of the lane, he should be able to get some sort of gank off towards that top side.
This is just the problem though, Dag. They're looking at bot again. Caitlyn Lux is just such a powerful lane. With Guardian, with the W-Max, it's pretty impossible to do
and
damage.
I'm actually a bigger fan of something like a Karma in this lane rather than Morgana, because Morgana's push just isn't particularly strong, whereas with the Karma, you can put 3 points into Q, you can clear that wave alongside the Ashe, and it makes things a heck of a lot easier. This Morgana pick, although in theory works okay, just doesn't quite cut it as well.
He's a favourite to sort out though, and we are early into the laning phase. Pause though, because Peanut's walking towards SOFM. Chilling Smite there. Doesn't safeguard yet, but he's behind enemy lines, and he was invading. Longxing takes a kill, and uh-oh, SOFM. Bit of a doozy.
No bueno for SOFM. I assumed he was going to leave there fairly rapidly to go towards his top side. This is see Longxing had already shoved in, but gets a bit greedy, tries to go for the Gromp, gets caught out, and now you've given that first blood very quickly over to LGD. And as we talked about, LGD love to snowball. They are kings of the early game if you let them get ahead, and right now, Peanut is running away with
I mean, they've got these winning lanes, right, when you talk about Jace up in the top lane who wants to accelerate. The Echo into Syndra matchup we've mentioned, and it's a Caitlyn Lux bottom side. So for LGD, ball's already rolling. You've now just given a Jace a kill. And when he goes back, that's going to be early lethality as well. Peanut, meanwhile, he's a busy boy. Wants to go mid. Angel has his flash, burns it immediately, and Peanut just says howdy.
And these lane matchups will slightly change when we hit 6. So at the moment, Angel does have command of this mid lane, with Shea just going back into lane. He's about to hit level 6 though, which means he'll be in a little bit of a better spot to push against Angel, although Kramer.
Does he care though? Still Lux with Guardian nearby. Sword Art, as you mentioned, very nicely. Low on the mana pool once again. Pops a potion as Wanfeng walks forward. Net lands and Wanfeng takes a healthy trade as the binding connects as well, but Mark in a bit of trouble. The flash forward and Kramer getting low. Wanfeng may have just done it though with Kramer. One hit away, the chilling smite. Not in time as Peanut was able to trade and give the kill to Kramer. Both AD carries out of lane.
Split damage from Kramer. Couldn't make up his mind whether he's going for Wanfeng or Sword Art. Committed to a couple of shots to Sword Art right as Wanfeng flashed in, so not actually able to survive that just as Peanut comes in. Decent job to change it around, but in this top side,
he's diving this into hammer form. Cyclone though disrupts even under turret. Won't matter because Longxing is king up here.
And this sucks for Bin. At level 6, Wukong actually takes over in this lane because of the Cyclone having that opportunity to get on top of Longxing and CC him. Yeah, and he was looking to clear this wave back by and then TP into lane to use that level 6, come in full health, full mana. Looking good, not able to do so, gets caught out and gives that kill to Longxing.
And this is the problem with naming yourself Bin, because when you don't play well, people are going to call you something else. And I think it's pretty harsh, but Bin right now 0-1, getting shoved out, and we meanwhile go to the bottom lane play where Kramer was blocked by this minion for at least 10 days.
Yeah, Kramer's tanked that up for quite a while, not able to move, but here's the issue. You can see Kramer putting that headshot in towards Sword Art. That had actually gone into Wanfeng. You can see Wanfeng would have been dead. Peanut, when he came in, would have been able to protect him, but unfortunately that split decision-making means that he's not actually able to get out. And then in this top lane, Longxing, I mean, this is the problem.
Bin wanted to farm.
Yeah, Bin wanted to farm, hadn't got the Tiamat yet, and hadn't respected the amount of damage that Longxing could churn out, and just managed to pick him off under tower.
Nice little recovery considering, you know, in that last series, in the semi-final where JDG smacked them down, Longxing had the ability to make these performances, but doesn't really hit that height, and the KO game was about the elements getting set up around him, and then him performing, and unfortunately neither was done.
And with the build that Longxing's gone for, this lethality, he's going to do really well against Bin, because although the passive gives him a bit of armor, it's not going to be enough. And as Bin wants to go towards items like the Triforce and these kind of guys, it means that then you're not actually picking up armor until much later in the build when that lethality is still going to be working.
And like 3 items strong at this point, let's be quite honest. The Xie, thank you for the blue buff he shuts as Peanut's set. Now, you know, when you see Peanut on Lee Sin, they call him like Peanuts Lee Sin. Or they shorten it, then they say Lee, you know, Lee.
Yeah.
I think we call this one Net.
I actually call it Pisa. For Peanuts Lee Sin. Pisa.
Pisa?
Yeah, Pisa.
Okay.
Pisa. Like
Pisa.
It's like you just combine a couple's names. And
I think this is just Net, you know?
Yeah.
That's set.
Yeah.
It's Net. As, okay, Bin, now going to go the full on as SOFM has come on here with a safeguard. Sonic Wave connects and Lungxing's just said, shutdown also goes to Bin. So now that lane, not as said and done.
And that's what we were talking about, is that when you hit 6, Bin actually just ramps up so much as a Wukong. And even though you had SOFM there, I don't think he was even needed.
Hex flash over the wall, though. And here comes Peanut once again onto Angel. Face breaker and the Haymaker shield lined up perfectly. Flash for Xie to get the time winder. Beautifully done. Peanut is running this game.
This is what we talked about. Peanut is the conductor of LGD. Wherever he goes, plays are sure to follow. He's been all over the map. They're ramping up them kills. And already, at nearly 10 minutes into this game, the 1,000 gold lead, that's about to be added to.
Big echo coming up as SOFM makes himself known, but the turret plating already given over. And a bit of a swipe here as it gets taken down. 1.5 left remaining. As SOFM getting out jungled, outpaced, outclassed by Peanut in this game 1. And everything's still going well for LGD, despite the kill up in the top lane. Almost 2,000 gold ahead at 10 minutes in the game.
And Peanut's just been doing a great job. All he's done is gone, hang on, we've got a winning top, we got a winning bot, at least pre-6 in that top side. Let's just go for it. Let's just try and make these plays happen. Instantly gets the invade off onto SOFM. And then from that point, knowing he's ahead of this Lee Sin, he's just been cranking over and over again.
So reset, Cinderhulk with a Ruby Crystal while Warriors is there for SOFM. But meanwhile, top side, Lungxing. Well, you'll love to see it. A Jace who's almost 20 stairs ahead will have first item after picking up this turret plating. Can stick around, clear this wave out, and set up for his 3rd bit of turret plating of the game as well. And meanwhile, Peanut's like, I'm confident. Angel, would you like to fight me? Light Binding doesn't connect. Dark Binding does connect, and I just realized we have Light versus Dark in that bottom lane, Dagda.
Yeah.
Where's the storyline? I was expecting you to help me out. As SOFM, that Black Shield is going to be chilling, smited away. Face Breaker, 2-man kick is great. His Light Binding doesn't need to connect this time, because Xie ends up with 2.
Peanut able to catch them out there. Xie is 2 kills already on this Echo. He's going to be firing ahead.
And onto Angel, that's a great parallel convergence. Xie still has his ultimate available, remember, and Angel has stacks remaining on that Z drive resonance, but Xie opts not to go back in. The Echo, who has a bounty on his head and a CS lead in this lane, doesn't really care about Angel right now and manages to push the wave out and reset everything else.
The ability of LGD to play through side lanes has ramped up dramatically now with Xie having these 2 kills. He's going to be very quickly getting that Hextech Protobelt, working up towards that Lich Bane.
Or
playing against Angel, he should be all good.
Or he acts like the ballsy mid laner we know him as and gets a Magi's instead. Early with 4 stacks.
He does it a lot, like even on champs like Twisted Fate where we don't expect it, but
Vinny Boy into clone form, and with Cyclone, you talked about this matchup. Lungxing only manages to get away thanks to the pod.
Just about Lungxing, even
with
these 2 kills. Not feeling so hot on this top side, and Bin now getting his revenge for these early levels. Working very steadily up towards that Triforce, but unfortunately not quite able to get that kill for himself on that top side.
So, top side under wrap, Bin feeling a little bit better, while SOFM starting up the Dragon, who's going to be curious. Because Peanut's here, spotted on a ward. There is a level advantage for the Lee Sin, while Enchantress Arrow is using bottom lane, means no cleanse for Kramer. PB coming in, it's Angel, but in the back line. Meanwhile, this is Lungxing onto SOFM. Runs straight at this jungler. SOFM gets the kick though. Means 2 with the final spark, and SOFM living for so long until Peanut dunks him into the dirt. Bin just uses Cyclone, so that's no threat, while the rest are targeting Huan Fong, and Xie will grab the kill credit for his double of the fight for Sword Art, giving the triple. GG go next, Xie's fed.
Xie always gets fed. That's how what Xie does on LGD. 5 kills already for this Echo. The Dragon going the way of LGD, and especially after SUNING had just committed that arrow in the bot side of the map, didn't really have control of this bottom lane. It's a curious call to go towards Dragon this early.
When you have a comp that, you know, aggressive. We talked about 1 items. We also talked about how LGD want to get rolling, and they did. Everything's in their court. There's a 4K gold lead now, and 5-0 on this Echo with Proto Belt. 10 stacks on the Dark Seal. Expect the Magi soon as we watch while SUNING. We're here again.
Yeah, they just didn't have control of this area. Wanfeng and Swordart did make it to the play, but you've already got to dip out of SUNY because LGD arrived, and it all falls apart from that spot.
Dagda, this is why at one point I said LGD might win Worlds. This is why I said LGD are going to be Worlds representatives, because even though this is the 3rd place match and SUNING might be hiding strats or drafts, etc., the fact is SUNING can be very inconsistent in their shot calling. Around objectives, even moving into the mid-game. That has been the problem with SUNING during the regular season. And in that fight, it's a great example of the problem still remaining with SUNING, even heading towards the regional qualifier.
And I thought we might see the same SUNY we saw against V5. The ability of SUNY to play against these early game teams, keep track of junglers, making sure that the enemy isn't getting ahead, but LGD thus far has just been so dominant in lanes, in these ganks, and already getting towards this mid-game point. They have a 4,000 gold.
And it's kind of a shame because for SUNING, we saw the elements of Wanfeng punishing Kramer and Mark, Bin as well, almost picking up a solo kill despite the early laning phase. So there are some really good elements on SUNING, but here in Game 1 they have been outclassed, they have been outmatched, they have been outgolded, which is proper English, I'm sure, as mid-turret goes down, thanks to Xie. SOFM has to stand by and watch because Peanut is also shadowing Xie to make sure he can do what he wants in this lane.
And the beauty of the plays that have happened for LGD thus far is the gold is still getting to Kramer and Mark. But actually, I'm going to hang on to this point.
All right, Peanut into SOFM, wants to safeguard away, but denied with the ulti. Peanut is having a beauty of a game as this Magi's now picked up on Xie, gets 4 more stacks. Swordart could be next, and Chanakras arrow dodged away. He's playing with his food, and Swordart tastes like a bird with wings as he flies back to the fountain. 2 kills quickly done, and LGD soaring ahead once more.
This is classic LGD. Play around top side of the map early, transition those leads to bot side in the mid game. That is exactly what we're seeing here, where they're able to get this dragon fight into this bot lane turret, and there just is no hiding for SUNING at this stage. Everyone on LGD is fed.
7-0-1, 18 stacks at 15 minutes in the game. Now, if this was solo queue, I would say there'd be a lot of people sitting in Fountain right now, Dagda, and they'd say, look guys, let's just get to the next game, right? I don't want to tilt out on this. We've all kind of lost our lanes. It's all gone down the toilet a bit. As Xie, all that phase dive could have been better, but never mind, Angel's out.
And here's the thing. When we look at this bottom side of the map, the whole idea for Wanfeng and Swordart is to push against Kramer and Mark, and then use your stronger mid-game to run over LGD in team fights. The problem is, because LGD have been winning these team fights anyway, already Kramer and Mark have taken that bot lane turret. You've Caitlyn at 2 items getting out of lane already, and when she gets that 3rd one, more than likely working up towards something like the Storm Razors, that's when she's going to be able to just completely wipe the floor with this Ashe.
Is Xie caught out? Time 1 to use. Swordart gets low and away he goes. The ultimate just dodged again. Xie, some fancy little bit of footwork here in this game so far. And out he goes. That was a lot used. 2 ultis down and Herald given over to LGD. Another turret. SUNING can do no right, unfortunately, anymore.
And that Rift Herald is going to be big issues now for SUNING, because with all these outer structures down, LGD just look to crack open these inner turrets, potentially push in, especially with a minute towards this dragon. Toss a Rift Herald mid.
SOFM, can you run? This is Xie with his ulti available. Parallel convergence into the minion wave, jumps on SOFM, and anyway, the kick gets him out, and he doesn't mind. He has his ulti available, he's going to push this wave and wait for the next.
LGD, though, can just toss this Rift Herald down mid, create pressure here, back off towards Dragon. Like, this is perfect timing for LGD, and it's just a double whammy.
Oh my god, get this Echo off of me! Parallel convergence, the kick not available, he just used it. He can jump back in onto SOFM. The phase dive unleashed power. They finally kill him, but they're losing a lot.
Exactly, that Rift Herald gets flunked down in towards the mid lane. Will be escorted by Kramer to make sure it gets a charge eventually.
He can 1v2 at this point. Kramer's got 2 items, and even though stacks were lost in the mid lane, gets another charge. I will say, Dagda, with the way things are going, it would have been worth. SOFM makes it not so, though. And Bin's going to make it so again. We're kind of flip-flopping a bit.
This is okay for SUNING. I mean, second Dragon going over towards LGD, not the end of the world. You did just pick up a tower for that tower that was lost in mid. So honestly, I kind of count that as a win for SUNING with how far behind they are.
Yeah. Again, if a team's so far behind and they're trading, that's great. It's a good sign. But they need to do a lot more than that. It's still a 5k gold lead 18 minutes into the game. Bin getting that turret topside feels pretty good. And again, Bin, someone we've highlighted many times in many individual games throughout the season. Bin is that kind of player who is building to the likableness of the Shy. You know, he has a really high ceiling, really high potential. This is how Xie died.
Yeah, and nice job from SUNING SOFM holding off on the Sonic Wave, so he's able to follow after the ultimate comes through from the Echo. So nice way of finishing off. The issue for SUNING though, Baron is very scary for them. When they tried to move into that, you're walking through Kramer, Mark, Peanut, even Xie nearly able to one-shot people. The ability of them to hold on to this area is not good.
Bin's going to set this up with a base breaker as well. Gets it with the clone. The final spark, the Haymaker shield, SOFM low as Xie lands a Time Winder but has another target in mind. Bin with the double Cyclone. Now that that's not available, this base dive will set it up with the trap. And Kramer picks up the kill. And momentum starts once more here with LGD poised to strike at top.
This is LGD just putting their foot down. I mean, SUNING, there's very little that they can do from this position. You've got a composition that scales super well into the late game, especially with this Caitlyn. The gold has all been funneled onto the key carry. 7, 1, and 2 for this Echo with that Mage has completed. The next item, I imagine with the amount of gold that Kramer's sitting on, is already completed. Like, it's just LGD running away with this.
It's a really clean play. Sets up a lot of the fans with confidence as to what LGD could be like. Of course, throughout the whole series in this best of 5, we want to see that reign supreme. Let's see if SUNING can recover. As needlessly large rod picked up. Now, Kramer doesn't have the full item dagger, but a BS sword is still a lot to handle.
Yeah, he's going towards, I'd imagine, the Storm Razors. There is an argument here for Essence Reaver as well, just with how much wave clear you're going to need to try and push back SUNING, and also just the ability to get down a whole heap of these traps and nets in team fights as well. But I have to see what the decision is from Kramer. Either way, though, he's in a great spot. You've now got LGD completely controlling this top side, and as we talked about, making it very difficult for SUNING to actually approach this Baron with the amount of CC and long-range poke, plus execution damage that can come in on their side.
Yeah, Sword Art is the one who keeps meeting with Xie. Bin was pushing out the turret while LGD had no commitment to match him.
I remember when I joined the LPL, you said SOFM will clear Raptors while his team is losing.
Yes!
SOFM is clearing Raptors
the base
team is losing the base.
We need our playmaker. Dark Binding connects. That's one play with Scatter the Weak that can lay it down, but the Haymaker shield makes it pretty hard as SOFM now finally joins in. Good cleanse away from Kramer. After taking that set Scatter the Weak, is Jenicus arrow blocked by the Bro Peanut. Now he wants to use his shield as the final spark onto Sword Art. He hasn't burnt it just yet as the Unleashed Power has wasted another Scatter the Weak, but Xie's joined in. Bin for the flank, gets light binded by Mark. The Sonic Wave from SOFM, he's already used his kick. Comes in, but Kramer flashes. Bin as well gets shielded. Mark can't save him in time. This has turned pretty bloody, but LGD don't care. They won this 10 minutes ago.
They already got the inhibitor. They get the fight. The wave in the bottom side, not quite there, though, so they're not going to be able to follow up for any more towers. But again, LGD coming out on top with some fancy footwork from the team and from the Bro Peanut.
That's definitely a nice way to say it. As you called him on Lee Sin, you've called him P-Sin, which I actually don't think we should say again. No. But I'm just happy to call him... What'd you call him on set? I called him Net.
Pet.
You call him Pet?
Pet. Yeah.
All right, well.
Because he's an L pet, that's what he is.
Well, okay, all right. Well, maybe that we should drop as well. But before we get fired in the third place match, which would be a pretty good way to go out, just leave everything to the other two guys for the rest of the split. We're about to see another 1 versus 2. But this time it's in Lungxing as he goes on to Angel. That wasn't even accelerated. And Janicross the arrow was, all right. He thought he was going to escape, but he doesn't. And Lungxing walks it instead.
I like how Angel very quickly regretted his decision, but we're going to see this again. Peanut tanks up everything. Fantastic play. Mark as well there with a nice binding before Sword Art Black shields himself.
Yep.
And then here again, watch Peanut. We don't actually get to see it because we got another fight.
Yeah, we do. Peanut's coming in for a flank. That's a teleport out of Xie. And SOFM's going to regret this decision. Down he goes. 18-5, 19-5. Can I get a 20? 5 versus 3 for what could be the rest of the game. It's Baron time.
It's Baron time. They still got the Dragon there as well. LGD should be able to pick up both these, get the Baron back, spend that nice little bit of gold you picked up for yourselves. And
yep.
I mean, what do you try and do is SUNING here, they're trying to get SOFM onto these flanks, same with Bin. But unfortunately for them, Hwanfeng, he's only sitting at just completed his 2 items. And because he's gone with the Essence Reaver build, he still needs a bit more time to try and ramp up. Whereas if he'd gone for the Blade of the Rune King, maybe he's in a better spot at this point in time. But unfortunately for SUNING, they just don't really have the damage right now to deal with LGD.
Waiting for those 25 stacks on Xie with the Rabadons and 22 in hand. It just feels like anyone gets one shot. You don't really have that full hardcore tank in SUNING, so as Xie, this is a dream come true.
And you've got options here as Xie as well, right? I can either go towards that top side, use the Rabadon's Lich Bane proc to delete that top lane tower, or I can look for flanks and team fights. And honestly, with LGD being able to run away with this game, not a little bit of fun. I think they're going to team fight.
They're going to try and get a pick on Kramer, though, who's walking into lane. Scatter the weak. Doesn't connect, and nor does the Sonic Wave. Here comes Ace in the hole, and the rest of the cavalry, Mark and Peanut grouping up. A Dark Binding to deny, but Peanut is pretty fast. The Penguin goes in the air, while Xie 1v2s. He's going to join by Peanut as SOFM flashes away just in the nick of time and dodges away from the Piltover Peacemaker. LGD group is 5, and now it's time for the bottom lane to get the same treatment.
Top lane is under siege as well with those creeps pushing in, so LGD have got all the plays in the world to make right now.
Peanut Hex flashes over the wall. The Baron minions doing quite enough. And another inhibitor will drop. At this point for LGD with the confidence, just try and find that pick and end the game. As Enchantress Arrow misses. Hits a nice goal, though. SOFM can't get the Sonic Wave. Bin around the side, wants a flank with Cyclone up and available, but he has no flash, as that's a headshot from Kramer. Peanut runs forward into Hwanfeng. And Angel skirting with danger, and yes, he's just dead! Of course he is. Ultimate, not in time. Xie gets CC'd before he can Chrono Break as Bin comes on in. Kramer now CC'd up as well, and they do kill him. But the set showstopper in the end might have done enough work as Mark gets caught out, and LGD playing with their food a little bit too much, and SUNING managed to defend.
Xie gets a couple of his pages torn out of his book as well, so only sending him 15 stacks. Either way, though, LGD still got mid inhib, they've got bot inhib down. Top is surely soon to follow. The nice thing here for SUNING, at least though, is they do manage to get this dragon for themselves.
Yeah. You know, if we keep going around this roundabout, SUNING will eventually become relevant again in this game. So LGD probably can't do that again, Dagda. We'll keep an eye out for it.
This is the perfect game from Peanut right now. Being able to run away with this early lead. He's been an absolute bro, as he said, tanking a lot of these. Xie goes a little bit too deep, then into the binding, so he doesn't get out of this play. So, bit of mistake, not respecting how much CC there was. And when he's down, it becomes a little bit easier to start targeting on towards Kramer and then win this fight out for SUNING. But it feels like it's... Ooh, hang on.
All right, Jan across the arrow, and Lungxing's dead. Now, are LGD throwing this one?
I mean, it's still a long way.
But we're going down that roller coaster, aren't we?
Yeah, I can see. You know the way when you're like walking through the theme park and you can see the drops on the roller coaster. You're trying to decide if you want to go on the roller, like experience that drop. I think that's what LGD are doing. They're admiring the roller coaster of emotions and trying to figure out if they want to bring that to themselves.
Oh, he went into Hammer and just Angel Prestige. Oh, God. Well, a lot was used as Mark playing with danger himself. Scan across the arrow is not up and available. That's an ulti from Caitlyn as Light Binding's dodged from. Mark has his ulti as well for a bit of burst. But that Baron power play, I think it was negative in the end. As LGD with 20 kills, still looking for this pick. Here's Bin. It's clone time. Mark's just walked a bit too far forward. And SOFM has kick available. Good dodge. Now on to Kramer.
Mikhail's is completed on to Mark though, so you have to be a bit careful with who they decide to fully commit this CC train to, because there is always the opportunity for Mark to just ruin it.
Xie onto Bin meanwhile. Parallel convergence coming in. Xie just kind of wants to nail that down as Angel is in the bottom side without mana. There's a TP in. Mark flashes over the wall. Kramer's there too. Light Binding went to the left, thinking that SOFM would step forward. And all right, LGD still want to end. They don't want the Baron onto Sword Art in the back line. Chrono Break immediately. Chan across the arrow was actually just...
Oh.
All right.
So what we've learned is that everyone else is playing League of Legends.
What is this?
Oh, hang on.
Bin now caught out. This match, it's game 1. This is ridiculous League of Legends.
Oh, Mark is just playing the cha-cha slide. It's like flash forward this time. Ha! Punch to the left.
To the right, yes. Bin's back in. 2 steps this time. There it is. Second one comes in. Scout of the week. Meanwhile, Xie does that thing again, and Bin's now dead. This time, it is a 2-for-1. And maybe LGD can end this game finally, as SOFM don't walk into that bubble. And LGD want to break down another inhibitor. As SOFM, all right. I don't think he wins this 1v1, but maybe he does. It is a Lee Sin. The execute comes through. I was wrong. Never listen to me again. As Peanut ulties meanwhile. Huanfeng is dead. Unleash Power doesn't kill Lung Xing, but Mark might die thanks to SOFM and Angel. Good life binding, but Peanut's rejoining in the play. Sonic Wave incoming, waiting for the face breaker, but it is Angel who gets the kill on Mark in the end, and this goes on.
Towers will fall in the base, though. I imagine these super creeps, just a couple more autos, will just about get it down. So, I mean, they do lose an Nexus tower. The waves are still going to be crashing in. Barons in 10 seconds. Like, this will still be going the way of LGD, unless SOFM gets the kill.
Yeah, but he didn't know Lung Xing was here. Goes in again. Haymaker taken. SOFM could be inting, but safeguards away. Biggest debate, actually. Oh, that's what happens when Bin comes in. Hey, there's a Baron up.
In my worst Vietnamese, Anya SOFM. It is absolutely fantastic to see the play that he's bringing out today. Because, my word, his Lee Sin was a bit lackluster to begin with, but since then, it has been pretty damn good.
Well, Dagda, SUNING are not out. I mean, what do you say here? The players know, the audience knows, but we won't say it. Game 1 is a sign of this series. The audience, they know. Dagda, look at me. They know.
They know.
They know. They all know. They know what this is. They know the word for it. You guys are smart. You know. Let's go into another dragon though. We got no soul.
No, it's been 2 dragons apiece now. Look, it has been a little bit messy. LGD are in the risk of potentially throwing this.
And they got Kramer, Unleash Power, SOFM, legit carrying now, as Haymaker doesn't do enough. SUNING got a massive pick, and Baron's up. Kramer's not up for 40 seconds.
SOFM does need to heal, though. Good news is, ocean maps, so should be able to find a couple of these honey fruits around the place.
That was sick. Dark Binding also connects. Onto Xie, the Fed Echo gets engaged on. Chrono breaks into the middle of SUNING. Gets a bit of damage, but no safety anymore. And I think LGD are now going to lose this game. Honestly.
What is happening? I mean, you've got inhibitors respawning for SUNING.
Dagda.
They can go towards the Baron.
Dagda, you know what's happening. You know. They know. We know. Peanut, the second prize is this dragon. But the first prize was SUNING in this game.
Oh, God, all right. Well, SUNING will get the Baron. Peanut will get the dragon eventually, so it means that at least LGD will be on soul point, so can look to try and secure the Ocean Soul for themselves. But definitely LGD need to clean up matters before they start approaching SUNING. And SOFM, he's been looking slick. The plays that we said already he can make on this Lee Sin have been so good at bringing SUNING back.
He had to have a bad early game to have the good late game, right? Yeah. The Lee Sin, as we know, Lee Sin does nothing in the early game. It's all about the late game.
Yeah.
But the Death Dance Lee Sin here, 3-7-9.
That's why he was farming Raptors as the mid lane turret went down. Because he knows if he can get to the level 17, the highest level in the game right now for the SUNING jungler, that's when he comes online.
Oh my God.
Actually, sorry, Xie is 18 now. My mistake. But still.
It does feel like the echo has fallen off, even though we know that's not really the case.
He sold the Mage.
He did.
He sold the set.
Out of embarrassment. She has died too many times now. Let's just wait for this next one, shall we? Because it's been 38 kills of creamy goodness. You know, you get that carbonara, you stir it around, you think, this is great, but it's not good for me. And there's so much more in the pot. We could have potentially 4 more of this. but I think 3 is enough. So
I kind of feel like, just speaking of Italian cuisines, you know the way they got pizza, and like it's obviously not very healthy for you. At what point did someone turn around and go, you know what this needs? More cheese in the crust. I feel like it's a little bit of overkill.
No, it's not.
It's delicious. Don't get me wrong. Yes. Yeah.
Why are you bagging it out?
It was in my head because I only had it a couple of days ago, and I was like, when do signs stop, Mr. Erich? When do we stop? Has signs gone too far?
Gone too far. Apparently not. I told you, SUNING are now going to win this game. That gold lead is only 2,000 after all said and done. And you not liking cheese is just upset me. Well, apparently you don't. You don't like cheese, you don't like fun?
No, the problem is I do. It's an issue. It's like I want to not have cheese crust or cheese stuffed crust pizza.
I'm going to say durian pizza though.
Oh no.
Oh, that's horrible.
When you I've ordered what I thought was cheese crust. It was actually durian stuff.
Oh yeah, you get mistaken as Shie mistaken to go in on Bin. He's got cavalry coming as Absorb with the enchanted arrow. Bin is tanky enough. He gets pulled into the rest of the team. Here comes Caitlyn. And LGD might say, hey, maybe we win this game now. Flash with the light binding. Sword Art and SOFM gets slowed down as Angel's front lining because he's got a big scat of the week. The shock blast doesn't connect, but here comes Daddy Peanut. The net ready to go. And to catch SOFM, he walks into 2, chilling smite down. Shie's there, gets the kick. Sonic Wave once again. Shie walks away with Chrono Break in hand. This Lee Sin has scaled optimally. Phase dive into the middle. Chrono Breaks out. Peanut's like, my bro, where is he? As SOFM doesn't die from Shie anymore, and we're continuing forward as Kramer flashes forward. It's a 90 caliber net kind of day, and Angel is the one to feel it with Sword Art getting the kill, helping Angel hit him down, but LGD won a fight.
LGD win the fight. SOFM does manage to maybe escape, does kill Gromp on the way out. Kick is just up for him as well, so could look to maybe try and make a play here, but nobody from LGD going to push too far forward. They're going to back away.
One of these teams are going to Worlds.
Yep.
Now, obviously, this won't be the quality of performance.
I mean, they could have just taken Indians there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But who cares? When we could have more fighting. Peanut is getting his wrist ready. We saw it in the player cams. SOFM actually takes no damage from Shie.
He has got Death Stance, so it does make it a little bit harder to burst him out.
He heals a lot.
Yeah. And then Peanut goes in as Shie backs out, which means that it's all on Kramer, who has hit full Caitlyn at this stage and is doing a heap of damage. With the last ounce of damage here, though, Angel does manage to just about hit Kramer, so then Sword Art can finish off the game.
And now back to the Rift. What's coming up next? We got an Ocean Soul for LGD. That would definitely win them the... Wait. That would be Ocean Soul. Elder would win them... Wait.
Ocean Soul would be pretty damn close to helping them win the game.
Let's be honest, this is not going to end the game. This was over 26 minutes ago. Now, it's been a fun ride. But when you know when everyone watched... What's a good movie that you didn't need to sit through? Castaway. No, that's a great movie. I take that back. Sitting through that was amazing. I'll come back to you. I
know, The Life of Oscar Wilde or something like that.
I don't know. I haven't seen that. But when a movie's done, it's done. And this Ocean Soul could be the finale we've been waiting for. Peanut's walking in, and he's already here with a Hex Flash. He runs into the pit. Oh, you sneaky devil. Sonic Wave taken. Might give SOFM access to the backline. The level 18 Lee Sin. Final Spark. Oh, that did next to nothing. Of course, it is a luck support.
There's a lot of waves crashing onto the LGD base right now, though, so SUNING looking to try and keep them here as those waves die.
They really don't do too much damage, though, LGD. Good scatter of the week here onto Peanut. Chanical's arrow follows up onto the jungler. Haymaker's there. Shie gets in the backline, then Chrono breaks out, and Peanut is at half health. SUNING may have just found themselves a cheeky dragon, but now it's Soul Point across the board.
And they have waves here that they can look to work with it as well. Baron going to be up in just a few moments, so SUNING backing off, spending their gold, going to move back onto the map with these objectives.
Home Alone. Good movie, but we knew how it was going to end. And we know what the movie's about. He's Home Alone. Teleport being used by Angel.
But they did get 4 different, or is it 5 movies? How many movies? They got a decent chunk of movies out of it. Yeah. Look,
you should stop at 1.
Once you can get away with twice Kevin being left at home, that's just beyond a joke.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Blues Brothers, right? The first one was gorgeous, second one was pretty trash. And Bin comes in with the Cyclone. It's going to be double Cyclone. Face Breaker. does its job as Xie now engaged on once again. He has a chrono break, but he'll go into the enemy team. Holds onto it, survives thanks to the shielding of Mark, but now SUNING have the scuttle and they have priority in the river.
Mark's cha-cha slide continues as the binding slides to the left.
It does.
LGD, though, still looking to move in towards this river. SOFM is on the hunt for any of these insect plays you can make. Doesn't have the flash, though, which would be lovely to have.
Mark. Onefeng doesn't send out the enchant across the arrow. I'm not sure if it's still on cooldown by a couple of seconds, but it is now available once again. And Bin, meanwhile, is having his own party towards the bottom lane. He wanted to, you know, get jiggy with it around the side, but LGD won't let him.
I'm looking at Kramer, though. His build is going to have a lot of upfront damage. If he can get a headshot into the double static procs, that's going to do a lot of damage very quickly to whoever he can catch on to. Especially if it's anyone other than Bin.
Sure.
He'll tear through.
Sort out with the Dark Binding to start this one off. Good scout of the week, though, but it is Peanut who has a HP regen, while Bin is around the side. And Lens gives a bit more information to SUNING. Baron continues at 9k. Bin still waiting for them to walk in, and LGD make a move or just leave it. Baron's going to be given.
I don't even think that final spark hit Baron.
No, I think just the tip in the end, I think. As LGD say whatever, we'll get the next one.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, LGD could pop Xie, well, before this play, could have put Xie in a side lane. Had him use that teleport advantage to join in, and you've already got a bunch of wards there, and especially as an Echo, you like being able to join the fight a little bit later so you can assassinate the backline, but not doing so. So LGD now will look to try and shove out these waves before SUNING collapse onto their base.
Yeah, that was indeed a free Baron, huh? Good. Peanut. Oh, he's caught out. And he's by himself. Dark Binding. His Haymaker Shield's not going to do a thing. Use the Showstopper. Dies midway. Suddenly the jungler's dead for 55 seconds, and SUNING with Baron, and the minion waves start coming through mid and bot. Might actually get some inhibited.
SUNING trying to push in.
Are you okay?
Sorry.
Yep.
I was yawning. SUNING are pushing into the face. As, yeah, Onefeng turning in this mid wave. You got Bin pushing bot side. SFM will step on a trap, but doesn't go down for it.
I thought you were going to start quoting Debo again. Have you seen Paul Rudd does a version of Dead or Alive? No,
that's
the
Paul
actor.
Blars. That's Paul Blars.
Yeah. Paul Rudd is the actor.
No, yes.
He does a version of Dead or Alive. You spin me around. You know, you spin me
I have,
right.
and he's in the suit, isn't it?
And does he do it well? Oh my lord! People should go and search that between the breaks. Don't know the relevance, but it's actually worth it. It's a YouTube search away. Oh, Paul Rudd, great actor, is still trying to push through here. SUNING don't have the maximum range available, but now that Angel's joined, I'm very wrong in that state. Sword Art takes ace in the hole, which is really not doing too much either. And Lungshing stopped doing damage about 2 moons ago. 41 minutes in the game, Baron buff, unable to crack the base yet, and I think we could have a 1-hour game at this point.
Potentially. There is a wave that's chugging its way through topside. Won't do any damage, though. The idea here, though, is if SUNING just leave it there, we'll create a slow push eventually, but SUNING do crack the base, and arrow goes down.
As this could just actually be the game. Xie's dead. Xie dead all of a sudden, didn't get the chrono break. 60 seconds without the mid laner, but Sword Art gets pretty damn low. Scout of the week, great from Angel. Unleash power. Kramer's dead. And LGD, it looked great until it didn't. SUNING, it looked bad until it didn't. And we get a healthy medium with a Game 1 win. And third place match, we promise to entertain you for as long as this goes. Holy crap. That was the best, worst game of League of Legends I've seen in 2020.